from the Old Testament and into the New Testament and their fulfillments in Christ and things like that, I'll tell you, it really birthed a passion in me and an excitement to really dive deeper into the Word. And I hope that that same thing happens for you. That's my prayer out of this, is that you get a greater reverence maybe for the God of this Word, who has inerrantly inspired men from all different realms, all different places in the world. There's over 40 different authors that came together to at different times, different parts, with one cohesive message. And it's been given to us. And so it's a really exciting thing, and you'll get to see how throughout time, through his laws and through his feasts that he enacted, how all these things were to point to the Messiah, were to point to Jesus. So I think that's going to be really awesome as you come to that realization. You see some of those things as well. And the other thing is too, guys, Seders, I don't know if you know, but does anybody know what Seder means? Okay, Seder means order. Okay, so this is called a Passover Seder, which just means it's the order of the meals that they would have. The Feast of the Passover was something that God instructed the Jewish nation to observe, to remember what he had done for them, bringing them out of bondage in Egypt into freedom. So the cool thing about this is there's actually dual application that we can take. And tonight will be very informative, but at the same time, it's going to be very head loose. It's going to be very relaxed. If you want to yell something out, I'm completely fine with it. If you want to participate, that's cool too. However it goes, there's going to be some different aspects to it. The kids are going to get involved a couple times. If you guys, we're actually going to be taking part in some of the different orders of events of the Seder and everything like that too. But just so you know, there's really three different types of Seders, okay? One was an official Seder. And an official Seder is done in the home, and it's for families. And it was really the way of the man and the woman to pass on God's truth. I'm not sure if you're familiar with, in Deuteronomy, when God gave the law to Moses and to the people of Israel, what he did was he instructed them that the parents were to pass on to the next generation the truths about God. And they were to pass on different things to them. Nothing's been changed even to this day. The responsibility still to this day in God's eyes comes down to the parents passing on his truths to the next generation. So these Seders were something that families could come together and do, and that they would symbolize certain events and certain things that would teach the kids and teach the family and always keep it on the forefront of their minds what God had done for them. And how God was working, and what he was doing in bringing a future looking into the coming Messiah as well. So then what started happening was when they started realizing some of the symbolism as people were coming to Christ and really seeing the connections between Old and New Testament and feasts and the law and how it pointed to Jesus, what they started doing was doing demonstrational seminars, Seders, where it could be like a seminar, where they would come in and somebody would come in, and usually it would be somebody with a Hebrew background, a Jewish background, and you would sit out here and they would kind of just go through each and every piece, and they'd say, this is what this means, this is how it pointed to Jesus, this is what this means, this is how it points to Jesus, and just kind of teach people. And then there's another one called a symbolic Seder. And the symbolic Seder is really what we're going to try to do tonight, because the official ones, when it all comes together, there's games and stuff like that. Did you guys want to be here till midnight? These were like evening events, So truthfully, I don't know that I want to be here till midnight. So we're not going to do that one. The demonstration is, to be honest, they're awesome. But I want it to be a little interactive. So we're going to do a symbolic Seder. We're not going to pray every prayer they pray. We're not going to go through every piece of everything. But we're going to pick some of the parts that I believe, and as we go down through all this, are really going to help equip you and are really going to help you learn and come to a greater reverence and understanding so that you can know God more. And in turn, I believe as Christians, we are not only to grow constantly in the grace and knowledge of Jesus Christ, but we are to then make him known. So I believe this is going to equip you as well.